Have you ever found yourself staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., wide awake while the rest of the world sleeps? That moment in the still darkness, when your thoughts stir and your body refuses to rest, can feel lonely, confusing, even unsettling. If this has happened to you, you're not alone. In fact, it's far more common than most people realize. And no, it's not just a quirky habit or something that just happens with age. There's actually real science behind it. In this video, we're uncovering 5 powerful reasons why many older adults tend to wake up around 3 a.m. And more importantly, what those early morning awakenings may be trying to tell you. Because these moments aren't just about sleep. They're often quiet signals, clues from your body, your health, and even your emotional landscape. By the time we reach the end of this journey together, you may see your nightly rest in an entirely new light. These aren't surface-level explanations. What we're talking about is rooted in deep biology, psychology, and the subtle rhythms of aging that many people overlook or don't fully understand. We'll walk through the science, gently but clearly. From hormone changes and sleep cycles, to emotional patterns, and even environmental triggers that evolve as we grow older. And we'll do it respectfully, without fear or shame, because this is your story, your body, your experience, and your sleep deserves to be understood with honesty and dignity. So, if you've ever quietly wondered, why do I keep waking up at this time? You're in the right place. Stay with me all the way to the end, because what you learn might not only improve how you sleep, but how you honor what your body is going through. Let's begin. 1. Decreased melatonin production. One of the most common reasons older adults find themselves awake at 3 a.m. is a natural decline in melatonin, the hormone that regulates your sleep-wake cycle. Melatonin is like the body's internal sleep signal. It helps us fall asleep, yes, but more importantly, it helps us stay asleep. When we're younger, the body produces melatonin consistently and in good amounts. That's why many people remember sleeping soundly through the night in their 30s or 40s. But as we age, melatonin production begins to decline, sometimes gradually, sometimes more noticeably. And here's what that means. You might fall asleep just fine at 9 or 10 p.m., but around 2:30 or 3 on cotton, your melatonin levels dip too low to hold you in deep sleep. That's when the eyes open. No sound, no nightmare, just the body quietly slipping toward wakefulness. This isn't a sign that something's wrong with you. It's not a failure, it's biology. But the story doesn't end there. Even tiny things in your bedroom can make this worse. Light pollution, from a glowing phone charger, the hallway light under your door, or the street lamp outside your window, can further suppress melatonin production. As we age, we often become more sensitive to these small environmental cues. Let me share a real example. Harold, 72, always considered himself a solid sleeper. But recently, he began waking like clockwork around 3:15 a.m., fully alert. Not worried, not anxious, just wide awake, as if morning had already arrived. At first, Harold blamed himself. He wondered if he was stressed or not winding down properly at night. But once he learned about melatonin decline and its role in aging, he shifted his perspective and his routine. Now, Harold keeps his bedroom darker. He turns off all screens at least an hour before bed. He even takes a gentle walk around dusk to help reinforce his body's natural rhythm. The difference? He still wakes early some nights, but it doesn't rattle him anymore. He's learned how to work with his body instead of resenting it. And that's the key. Understanding this one simple shift in your internal chemistry can completely change how you approach sleep, because knowledge breeds compassion, and compassion opens the door to better choices. 2. Your sleep cycle has shifted. The advanced sleep phase. Another big reason older adults wake around 3 a.m. lies in something called the advanced sleep phase. As we age, our internal clocks tend to shift forward. This means we naturally start feeling sleepy earlier in the evening, and we wake up earlier in the morning, even if we don't want to. You might notice yourself dozing off halfway through a late movie, or waking up at sunrise without an alarm, even on weekends. This isn't unusual. It's your body quietly adjusting its rhythm. The challenge is that many of us still try to follow our younger sleep schedules. We push ourselves to stay up late, but then find ourselves wide awake in the early morning hours, like our bodies are pulling us back in time. This mismatch between when we want to sleep and when our body wants to sleep can lead to poor sleep quality and confusion. But again, it's not your fault. Understanding your body's changing rhythms can help you adjust your habits. Maybe you move your bedtime up a little, or start a gentle wind-down routine that matches when your body actually feels tired. This one shift, recognizing that your clock has changed, can turn 3 a.m. from a moment of frustration into a gentle reminder that your body is still speaking to you, and it's asking you to listen. When morning comes too early, when you long for just a few more hours of rest, this isn't simply a matter of habit. It's a change woven into your very biology, one that often deepens with each passing year. In youth, your internal clock aligns neatly with the sun. You feel alert late into the evening and wake naturally at sunrise. But as age advances, that clock gradually shifts forward, what experts call the advanced sleep phase. Suddenly, you find yourself yawning through a late movie and drifting off at 9 p.m. or even earlier, unintentionally surrendering to a body that believes its rest is complete. By the time 3 a.m. rolls around, your rhythm has already ticked through its full cycle. You awaken in the dark, not because you did anything wrong, but simply because your body's schedule has quietly reset itself, each year nudging your sleep window a bit earlier. Think of it as a clock that gains a few minutes every season. Over time, those minutes add up, and the world's normal hours no longer match yours. It can feel frustrating, especially when family routines, late-night conversations, or even your own desires push you toward a later bedtime. There's also a subtle psychological side. Many older adults retreat into quieter homes or embrace more solitary evenings. Without the bustle of a full-time job, commutes, or social gatherings to anchor your day, your brain's nighttime shutdown may begin sooner, compounding that internal shift. Let me introduce you to Charles, age 68, who recently retired. Dinner at 5:30 p.m., an hour of television, and by 9 p.m., he's sound asleep. At first, Charles worried he'd developed insomnia, until he learned about the advanced sleep phase. Recognizing his body wasn't broken, just naturally eager for rest, changed everything. So Charles made small tweaks. He stretches his evenings, a chapter of a book by a soft lamp, a leisurely post-dinner stroll, and sometimes a quick phone call with his daughter. These gentle signals help delay his internal bedtime, nudging his 3 a.m. wake-ups closer to dawn. The result? Fewer startled awakenings, and a deeper harmony between his body's clock and his life's rhythms. This shift in sleep timing is a shared experience for countless older adults, yet it remains largely unspoken. Understanding it can dissolve guilt, confusion, and resistance, opening a more compassionate path forward. So if you find yourself blinking awake at 3 o'clock a.m., rested yet restless, remember, your body might simply be running on an earlier timetable now. With that awareness, you can begin to reshape your evenings to support your well-being rather than fight your own biology. If you're still with us and these insights resonate, type number 2 in the comments below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss these moments of understanding and inspiration. Sign number 3, physical discomfort and health-related disruptions. Another reason many older adults wake around 3 a.m. is the body's quiet protest against physical aches or subtle health issues that emerge in the night stillness. With age, chronic conditions and minor ailments become more common, and they have a knack for interrupting our sleep without fanfare. A stiff joint left unchanged for hours can transform a peaceful rest into a restless vigil. Conditions like arthritis often lie dormant when we first slip into slumber, only to nag relentlessly after extended stillness. Similarly, nighttime acid reflux can strike if dinner came too late or you reclined too quickly. Even minor triggers, a parched throat, a sudden muscle cramp, or a shift in room temperature, can tug you from sleep just past the witching hour. These interruptions aren't random. They're your body's way of seeking relief. And once you understand that, you can begin to anticipate and address them, making your nights a little smoother, one small adjustment at a time. 3. Nighttime bathroom breaks and medication effects. When your body's defenses grow more delicate with age, even routine functions can interrupt your slumber. One of the most common reasons older adults awake at 3 a.m. is the sudden urge to use the bathroom. As we grow older, the bladder loses some of its elasticity, so that full, pressing sensation can hit you faster and more often. During the busy daylight hours, you might barely notice, but in that silent pre-dawn hour, in a dark room, it becomes impossible to ignore. And once you stand, walk, and relieve yourself, your body may already have shifted from deep sleep into light alertness, making it all the harder to drift back to rest. Then there are the medications many of us rely on: blood pressure pills, heart medicines, pain relievers. These can carry side effects: increased nighttime urination, shifts in body temperature, or heightened sensitivity to the smallest sound or flicker of light. It can take time, or the guidance of a caring physician, to spot the connection between your prescriptions and your disrupted sleep. Take Eleanor, 76, for example. She'd always been a light sleeper, but over the past year, she began waking around 3:30 a.m., night after night. Dismissing it at first as just part of getting older, she finally mentioned it to her doctor. Together, they discovered her evening dosage was influencing her hydration and her midnight trips to the bathroom. By tweaking the timing of her meds and adding simple habit changes, more water earlier in the day, fewer liquids an hour before bed, Eleanor now wakes less often and drifts right back to sleep when she does. Here's the compassionate truth. These nocturnal awakenings are not your body failing. It's your body doing its job. It's signaling, adjusting, adapting. Pay attention to these messages. They point the way toward better self-care, more informed choices, and a renewed trust in your own inner wisdom. Waking at 3 a.m. can feel like a nuisance, yet it can also be a gentle nudge. Check in, notice, make a small tweak. Those tweaks, taken one step at a time, can pave the way for deeper rest and improved well-being. 4. Daily habits that advance your sleep clock. Sometimes, the reason you wake before dawn isn't hidden in your biology. It's woven into your everyday routine. Over years, minor shifts in your habits, eating dinner earlier, winding down sooner, moving less, can quietly persuade your body that night arrives well before bedtime. In retirement, without the external anchors of work commutes, errands, or evening activities, your internal clock drifts forward. A calm, dimly lit evening signals your brain to release sleep-inducing melatonin earlier, lulling you to bed well before the late-night hours. And once you fall asleep early, your rest naturally ends early, often right around 3 a.m. Your mealtime matters too. A healthy early supper can slide your overnight blood sugar downward, and unless you have a light bedtime snack, that dip can tug you from slumber. Even caffeine from an afternoon cup of coffee can linger, because metabolism slows with age, making your sleep more fragile and raising the odds that a small disturbance will rouse you. Consider Walter, 74, newly retired. His days lost structure, his evenings grew tranquil. Supper at 5 p.m., a recliner, and the evening news, then into bed before 9 p.m. Weeks later, he found himself blinking awake at 3 a.m., puzzled in the darkness. Reflecting on his day, he realized his entire rhythm had shifted. So he added a brisk walk each afternoon, read under brighter lights in the evening, and skipped post-dinner naps. Those slight adjustments nudged his sleep window later, allowing him to slumber deeper and awake nearer to morning light. Each of these factors, physical signals, medication timing, and long-standing routines, can converge to pull you from sleep right when the world is silent. By listening to your body, noticing its cues, and making thoughtful, gentle changes, you can reclaim more restful nights and greet each morning with renewed energy. If this resonates with you, type number 3 in the comments. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss these moments of insight and care. What's truly remarkable is how we often underestimate the power of routine. Our bodies yearn for rhythm, those daily cues that tell our minds when to rest and when to rise. As these signals weaken or drift, our internal clocks can lose their way, ushering in earlier, more fragmented sleep. Yet by simply observing these patterns and making gentle course corrections, we can guide our systems back toward a cycle that feels deeply restorative rather than perpetually disrupted. If you're still with me and these reflections are resonating, please type number 4 in the comments below, just so I know you're here. And if you haven't yet, I encourage you to subscribe and ring that bell. Your support fuels our shared journey to create content that truly informs and uplifts. Sign number 5, emotional and psychological wakefulness. Sometimes waking at 3 a.m. has less to do with the body and far more to do with the heart and mind. In the hush of the night, when the world falls still and distractions vanish, emotions we've tucked away in the daylight begin to surface. Unspoken worries, old regrets, or long-suppressed hopes can rise up, filling the darkness with their quiet insistence. This form of restlessness isn't like the panic or racing thoughts of youth. It's softer, more contemplative, a gentle undercurrent of unease that you can't always name, but you feel in the space between breaths. With no meetings to rush to or errands demanding attention, there's room for those memories and questions to echo a little louder. Loneliness often plays its part here too. As social circles shrink, children moving far away, friends drifting into their own lives, we find ourselves in a quieter world. Daytime may be bright with tasks, but nighttime can spotlight the absence of companionship, stirring a longing for connection. Consider Gloria, 80 and widowed for 5 years. By day, she lovingly tends her garden, chats with her grandchildren, and enjoys her favorite television shows. But around 3 a.m., she awakens with her mind wandering back to evenings spent beside her late husband, or anxieties she pushed down during the day. At first, Gloria feared something was wrong with her sleep. Over time, she realized these awakenings weren't about rest at all. They were her heart speaking. To honor that message, she placed a simple journal and pen by her nightstand. When she wakes, she gently writes whatever thoughts arise. No pressure, just honesty. She also introduced a calming bedtime ritual, soft music, a brief note to a friend, or a few moments of gratitude. These small acts gave voice to her emotions and offered them a safe harbor, helping her return to slumber with greater peace. The truth is, the human heart never follows a strict schedule. It remembers the moments that mattered, asks the questions it needs, and sometimes does all this at 3 a.m. when everything else is silent. But this isn't a defect. It's a testament to the depth of your life story. If you find yourself awake with thoughts that won't let go, try welcoming them with curiosity and kindness. Ask yourself, what is my mind trying to tell me? What part of my heart needs acknowledgement? Where can I offer myself a bit more gentleness, even in the dark? Often, the most profound rest comes not from resisting these moments, but from honoring them. In doing so, you may discover not only richer sleep, but a deeper connection to the wisdom you've gathered over a lifetime. Final reflections now. As we bring this chapter to a close, take a moment to sit with what you've heard. Reflect on the ways your body and heart have been communicating in the early hours of the morning. What spoke to you most in this journey? Was it the gentler hum of your shifted internal clock? The subtle stirrings of your body's changing rhythms? Or perhaps something more profound, an emotional cadence that only emerges when the rest of the world slumbers? Each of these 5 revelations offers a unique window into why you find yourself awake at 3 a.m. And none of them signal a flaw or failure. Instead, they illuminate how fully alive your mind and body still are, how they continue to respond, adapt, and communicate, even in life's quieter chapters. There is quiet power in tuning in to these pre-dawn messages. Rather than dismissing your early morning wake-ups as nuisance, you might begin to embrace them as gentle prompts, reminders to listen more deeply to your needs, your routines, and the longings of your heart. You are far from alone in this. Countless others have stood in the same darkness, searching for answers. And with understanding comes strength. And with strength comes the freedom to make small, meaningful adjustments that usher in calmer nights, richer rest, and a deeper harmony with your own inner rhythms. If you recognized yourself in any of these 5 reasons today, know this: you're not simply growing older, you're evolving. And in that evolution lies the invitation to rest with intention, to care for yourself with kindness, and to greet each dawn with clarity, compassion, and peace. Thank you for sharing this time with us. We'd love to hear your takeaways. Please leave a comment below. Tell us one insight you'll carry forward and how you plan to weave it into your life. Your voice matters deeply here, and reading your words brings us such encouragement and hope. If this conversation resonated with you and offered value, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need it. Your support empowers us to keep creating heartfelt, insightful content to inform, uplift, and inspire. From our hearts to yours, thank you for watching. We look forward to walking alongside you in the next video.